Okay, ladies, so let's have you on your backs, arms by your sides. We'll just start with some breathing. So you can just make sure you're comfortable, so neutral on the spine. We want to put a hand on the sternum, lower part of your ribs, one on your belly button, just to make you aware of what's happening at your chest, what's happening at your belly. So we want to just breathe, not forcing it, just doing a normal size breath. We want to feel the tummy rise. And the chest isn't really going to move very much. And when you're happy that you've got that tummy rising and falling with your breath, you can just let your arms be by your sides. Roll the shoulders down and back, and then leave them there. Little tuck on the chin, just a very slight tuck on the chin. Pillow underneath the head if you need it. And just continuing for a few more breaths. Okay, so let's add some just little head nods in with your breathing. So we want to think about looking directly up at the ceiling and then initially just tracking the eyes forward to where the ceiling meets your wall. And then slowly coming back. And then you can just let the chin just move a little and then go back. Now, again, if you're one of those people that turns on everything at the front of your neck, you can pop your hand just up near the sternum and where the sternum meets the collarbone, so what we call your sternal notch, and you can pop your fingers there and just make sure that those big neck muscles, your sternocleidomastoid, isn't turning on with your gentle chin nods. We'll do a couple more. Okay, and relax. All right, let's come to your legs, and let's just do a simple bent knee fall out. So arms by your sides, palms face neutral on the spine. Right knee coming out to the right hand side, somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock, and then the left knee coming out somewhere between 10 and 11. So you don't want to feel your lower back squashing to the floor or arching, and your ribs are not squashing, not lifting, you're not squashing anything into the floor. Still breathing down into your diaphragm. And again, we'll do a couple more reps. Okay, let's go a little bit harder and make it into a single knee lift. So the right knee just lifting up over the right hip and then slowly coming back down. You want to bring it back to where you started, hip width apart, and then go to the left side. So left knee over left hip and then back down. So we haven't changed the breathing at all. You're still breathing down into the diaphragm. You're not letting your lower back squash or lift, maintaining in neutral. Ribs aren't poking up. Neck and shoulders relaxed. A little bit more effort involved in a single knee lift. But you're not feeling like your tummy's working too hard. And we'll just do 5 each side. Okay, with the next one, we'll straighten that leg, then lower it. Don't touch the floor though, just come close to the floor and then bend it, put it back on the floor. So a little bit more effort involved, so because that leg's now longer, your tummy muscles have to control the weight of it and the effect of gravity on that long limb. So you might be aware of a little bit more happening in the tummy, but again, you're not really working everything there too hard. And your breathing should still be nice and smooth. Keep the neck and shoulders relaxed and the palms facing up. And we're going to do again about 5 each side. So alright, so I'm thinking that's number 5. So this time we might bring the left arm in. So opposite arm with the opposite leg. So left arm over, left hand over left shoulder, right knee over right hip, and then extend them nice and slowly, and then come back. Again, they're parallel with the floor, but they're not touching the floor. That's it. And then we'll swap. So then we'll do left knee and right arm and come back. Good, so alternating, so a little bit more involved. We want to be nice and smooth with that transition from one side to the other. So it's easy to let everything fall apart and get a big wobble through your middle. It's much harder to slow it down and put that foot gently back on the floor, using your deep muscles to stop any movement wobbling from side to side. Good, let's do a couple more each side. Looks nice, ladies. Alright, keep going. I'm just going to let Anne in. She's coming in late, but that's okay. Alright, yep, and then just bring the knees in towards the chest and rock and roll from side to side. Alright, let's put one foot back and then the other foot back. Alright, so let's go to a bridge. So we want to bring those heels a little bit closer. Alright, and we're just going to do 5 bridges. So we're just going to tilt the pelvis, squeeze the bottom, push into the heels and lift up. Alright, keep those shoulders relaxed, and then we'll again come all the way back down. Now you can either curl all the way back down, so you're articulating through your spine, or you can just come down as a block. Alright, so remember, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the butt cheeks, push into the heels and lift up. Good, and then coming back down. Alright, and again, so we're going to do 5 of these. And we don't want to lift too high, so knees, hips, shoulders lining up. I see people arch their back up into what we call some lumbar extension way up high like this, which is actually turning on all those back muscles, the surface ones. So we always want to just come to a nice aligned position. Alright, so when you've done number 5, let's do a figure 4 stretch. So ankle on the knee, and then bring the knee in towards the chest, nice, through the bottom. Good, and then swap it over. And you get a different stretch doing figure 4 stretch to what you will get when we use a band. Alright, and relax. Alright, let's grab our roller. Alright, let's pop it in your hands, over your chest. That's it. All right, so what we want to do first of all is again find your neutral, okay? And we want to just think about making sure those ribs don't pop. So sometimes one of the first things I see when people take their hands behind their head with a roller is rib cage lift up. So just have a think where your rib cage is, maintain your neutral, little tuck on the chin, and then high end roller going behind the head, and then coming back. All right, use your breathing. Good. Breathing in, breathing out as the roll comes back. Good. Let's do 2 more. All right, 1 more. Good. All right, let's go a little bit harder. So taking the right knee over the right hip, which means you're a little bit more unstable, less support on the floor. And just keep the leg there and do another 5 with the roller. So the tummy has to work a little bit harder. So just keep the knee still for the first 5, and then we'll add in some extension. So just taking that roller behind the head in time with your breathing, letting your shoulders roll through their sockets. When you've done the 5th one, we'll add in the leg extension. So yeah, once again. Good. Nice and smooth. No changing in the lumbar spine. It's staying in a neutral position. We'll do 5. And then we're going to put that foot back on the floor. Okay. Let the roller just rest on your tummy. And then, good, we're going to go to the other side. So let's push the roller back up. And we'll put the left knee over the left hip. So again, think about whether you're still in that neutral back position. And we're just going to do the roller behind the head first of all, keeping that knee nice and still. Use your breathing, let your shoulders roll in their sockets. Little tuck on the chin. The neck's happy, your lumbar spine's happy. And then, yep, add in the leg extension for 5 reps. Good. And when you've done that 5th one, yep, just pop the roller down. Just pop it to one side for a second, and we'll just bring the knees in towards the chest, because we'll go 1 step harder with the same exercise, but just slightly harder. All right, then feet back on the floor. Okay, so keep that roller up. And she's back. All right, so this time we're just going to do 5 reps with both knees in the air. So set those shoulder blades a little, tuck the chin again. We want to bring the right knee up. Then we're going to bring the left knee up. And we're just going to breathe in as we go behind the head, breathe out as you come back. So we're not squashing the lower back into the floor, we're just maintaining its position. We're not arching it. Breathing in, breathing out. Just 5 reps. If your back doesn't like this, you can bring your knees closer to your chest, or you can put 1 foot back on the floor. Okay. When you've done the 5th one, control those feet down 1 at a time, and then pop the roller back on the tummy. All right. We might just do 1 more set of that. So again, think about where your back is, and just pop the roller up in the air, and then slowly bringing the right knee over the right hip, the left knee over the right, the left knee over the left hip, and then take that roller behind the head again. All right. The most important thing is to breathe here. Sometimes I see people put their knees up in this position, and then they try and get 5 reps out with their no breathing. So they're holding their breath, which means they're using probably their surface back muscles to hold it here, and then their back will hurt afterwards. All right, so let's hop on top of the roller now. So bottom on one end, head on the other. And lower yourself down. Alright. So now we're on top, we just want to check that those feet and knees are hip width apart. We want to just do some pelvic tilt. So let's do 5 pelvic tilts here, just to feel that range in your lumbar spine. You want to find out if anything's a little bit niggly or sore, hopefully not. But remember, just your pelvic tilts are just flexion, extension of your lumbar spine. Alright, and then we want to find somewhere that's neutral, and everybody's neutral will be different. Let's go to a single knee lift again. So we'll have those hands on the floor, palms facing down, because you will initially use your hands on the floor to give you support because you're on an unstable surface, and right knee over right hip. And then put that foot back down on the floor. And we're not in a hurry to stamp it down on the floor, we're just taking our time. Left knee over left hip. Good, and think about your breathing. Keep the neck and shoulders relaxed. And we're going to do 10 of these, so 10 each side. Just because it takes a couple of reps just to get the breathing in sync, and just for your body to figure out what it needs to do to keep you stable. And if you're feeling quite stable, you can go to elbow support. So the things I look for is ribs poking out, shoulders creeping up to ears, feet hurriedly going back to the floor, so a big stamp down on the floor. That means that something's not happening around the middle. Alright. Breath holding. Rocking from side to side. So it looks pretty good. Now occasionally you can get one elbow off, and sometimes both elbows off. So by taking away the support on the floor, your body is going to do more on the roller. So you're going to get more core muscles working if there's less support on the floor. But we don't take the support away if you're going to rock and roll everywhere. And this comes down to practice. All the stuff that we're doing is just practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get. All right, let's go a little bit harder. So again, go back to forearms on the floor when we increase the difficulty. So we want to do right knee over right hip, straighten that leg, lower it to the floor. And we just want to go parallel with the roll on the floor, and then bend the knee, put the foot back on the floor. And then the left knee over the left hip, straighten it, lower it down, bring it back up. Okay, and again, go to elbows if you're feeling like everything's under control, you're not doing any weird compensations. Good, and you're keeping your breathing going. We'll do 5 of these each side. Keep the neck and shoulders relaxed, little tuck on the chin. Okay, so I think that's 5 each side. So let's add in the opposite arm. So we want to do right knee, left hand in the air, and let's stretch the arm and leg away, and then back. All right, and we'll keep going. So we're going to do 10. So you might have your forearm on the floor, you might be feeling quite stable and have just elbow on the floor. And we're just going to keep going with that same arm and leg. So as we get up nearer to number 10, you know that front of the thigh is going to feel really quite uncomfortable. Keep the breathing going. And when you've got to number 10, you're just going to pop that foot back on the floor gently. Check again that you've got neutral on the spine as you put your right hand and your left knee in the air. Right, off we go. And we're not in a hurry. And we're keeping the chin tucked. And you can go to elbow support if you're quite stable. Remember, there's always a difference from one side to the other with this exercise. We tend to have a side that works just that little bit better. Good, looking good. And when we've done that last one, big starfish stretch. So we want to put the foot back on the floor, then slide the legs out. Good, big breath in. As we breathe out, just let everything go. Now remember, if your hands aren't comfortable in that 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock position, or your pecs aren't comfortable, you can always go to like 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Or you might have one arm doing one thing, the other arm doing the other. That's perfectly okay. All right, let's bring your arms back in. Let's bring the legs back in. Okay. Now, we might just do a little bridge on the roller today. So let's bring your heels in a little bit closer, not too close though, okay? And we want to have, let's turn the palms up. So we're just going to tilt the pelvis, we're going to squeeze the bottom, we're going to push into the heels, and we're just going to lift up. And you're not going to get as high on the roller, but it gives you a really nice thoracic stretch. And then coming back down. Good. Okay, we're just going to do 5. So tilt the pelvis, squeeze those butt cheeks together, push into the heels, and lift up. Good, and then back down. So it's a different bridge, but mostly we do it on the roller here for the thoracic spine to get that longitudinal massage. And for some people, it's easier than initiating the bridge from the floor. You don't want any back pain, you just lift it in the range that's comfortable for you. Good, and when you've done that last one, you can just sneak those feet back out where they were. And let's put the arms in the air. So we want hands directly over the shoulders, palms facing each other. And we'll do a reach for the ceiling. And then that nice squeeze of your shoulder blades around the roller. Okay, and again a reach and a squeeze. Good, let's do 3 more. So 5 in total. And we're thinking about the shoulder blades doing all the movement. We're not letting the neck come in and dominate. If we do a really big reach, the big neck muscles will come in. So let's just do a couple of little ones towards the end. Good, all right. Let's do a single one. So let's do right hand side reach, and then a squeeze, and then go over to the left hand reaches, squeezing with the shoulder blade. Let's do another one on the right, and a squeeze, and back to the center, and then on the left. All right, let's take our hands behind our head today, and we're going to do some, so your arms are parallel with the floor in your roller, and then let's reach in this position, so it's like a shoulder shrug, and then bring them back, squeeze those shoulders back. So exactly what you're doing, but your arms are up over your shoulders in a different range. So reach, it's like a shrug, and then squeeze, draw your shoulders away from your ears. So shoulders reaching towards your ears, and then squeezing back. All right, let's just do one more. And all we're doing is we're just making you aware of where you are in space and how those big neck muscles work. Bring your arms back now, and let's get your right hand to do take it behind the head, till it's parallel with the floor. Turn the palm to the ceiling, sweep it around in a big semicircle, and then come back up. That's it. And then do the left hand side. So behind the head, the thumb leads. Turn the palm to the ceiling. Big sweeping semicircle around to your thigh. Bring it back up. We're just going to do 2 more each side. So right hand, bring it out and around. And then come back up. And on the left. And you're just letting your shoulder roll in the socket. Alright, and we're just going to do 1 more each side. Don't push into any pain. If you've got any gnarly spots, just skim over them and then come back up. Alright, now if you've got a little band nearby, we want to grab that band. If you've only got your heavy resistance band, you could use it but just have not too much resistance. If you've got a normal size band, perfect. Alright, so you want to look at your wrists, make sure your wrists are straight. You've got that band up in the air, and all you want to do is squeeze those shoulder blades around the roller and then pull out on your band. Bring that band down to the chest. So play around with your resistance, okay? So keep those shoulder blades squeezed as you pull out. Keep them squeezed as you come back up. Alright, and then relax. So squeeze them, pull out, keep them squeezed as you're coming back up. And just have a little look at what your wrists are doing there as well. You don't want your wrists to be tilting back towards your face. That's wrist extension. And I see a lot of people overuse those forearm muscles because there's not a lot happening at the shoulder. So let's do 10 of these. So I'm breathing out as I pull out, I'm breathing in as I come back. You might be doing it the other way, perfectly okay. Good, and when you've done 10, just drop the band and give yourself a big starfish stretch again. Good, big starfish stretch. Breath in, breathe out, and relax. Alright, we're going to slide off elegantly onto the floor. Alright, and we'll turn that roller and we'll massage out our thoracic spine. Alright, so roll it underneath your shoulder blade area, hands supporting your head. You're going to use your feet, so dig your heels into the floor to squeeze your bottom and roll back and forth. So you want to try and have a nice alignment through your ears, your shoulders, your hips. That way you're using your core muscles, even though you're doing something innocuous like doing a massage over your shoulder blade. So we're just trying to get your brain used to automatically turning your core on in all of these different positions. Alright, let's drop the bottom on the floor elegantly, and we want to have our roller just at the base of your shoulder blades. Okay, we're going to have hands behind head, supporting your head, elbows pointing forward. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're just slowly lowering over that roller. So just go in the range that's comfortable for you and then come back up. Alright, we want to slide that bottom out a little so you're a little bit higher again. Breathe in, breathe out, lowering to the floor. Alright, and again coming back up, slide that bottom out, breathe in, breathe out. Alright, and one more. We're going to slide the bottom out, breathe in, breathe out, and lowering. Awesome. Okay, come back up. Let's pull that roller out. Let's bring it around underneath or close to your thighs, laying back down. We will bridge to lift it up. Lift your bottom up so you can sneak that roller underneath your sacrum. So above your coccyx, below your lumbar spine, then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Stretch your left leg along the floor. So hip flexor stretch, which is probably one of my favourite stretches. I probably do one of these every day, sometimes twice a day. So we don't want to go too aggressively with that stretch that you're feeling at the front of the hip. Just a moderate stretch. And then we slide that outstretched leg back in, lower the other leg down and swap it over. And I like to use my hands around the back of my thigh. Don't crush your knee, okay? If you get knee issues, what you're doing if you crush that knee in is what we call overpressure. So your knee might be okay while you're doing it, but later on you might think, oh, why is my knee sore? So always try and pull from the back of the thigh rather than crushing your knee. All right, let's slide that leg back in, but let's hang on to you can bring your foot back down. So we want to hang on to the ends of the roller, and we're just going to bring one knee up, and then the second knee up over your hips, and then just straighten those legs. They're not going to be totally straight, they've just got a slight bend in them, and we're just going to lower slowly to the floor, towards the floor, not touching the floor, and then come back up. All right. So I want you to think about what's happening in your tummy. Maybe or engage your deep tummy muscles. So draw your belly in a little in this position because you are elevated. And this is just giving you a passive stretch through the lower back and also just giving some nice mobility to your hips. We're just going to do 5 each side. Now you don't have a death grip on your roller, so let your neck and shoulders relax. Make sure you're breathing. And if your back doesn't like this, you're just going to bring one foot down at a time and lift yourself off and bring your knees in towards your chest. But we're almost there. All you're doing is just getting a nice passive lumbar stretch. Alright, when we've done number 5, we're going to put one foot down, the second foot down. We're going to lift off that roller and we just put it to the side. We're going to use it in a sec, but we'll just do a little bit of a rock and roll from side to side. Alright, and then one foot back on the floor, second foot back on the floor. Okay, we're going to massage out those iliotibial bands today. I had a few people during the week that are talking about clicky kneecaps or knee pain from particular things. So they had to get in and do some of these. So remember, we want to be elbow underneath your shoulder, that foot in front, that's supporting the weight of your body. So you put more weight into this front foot and more into your shoulder to lift you off the roller if it's hideous. And sometimes this can be hideous. Alright, mine actually feels really good because I've actually demonstrated this a few times this week to a few people. So, not hurting. Alright, let's flip over. So, I like to do these together, so to go from one hip onto your thighs. Now remember, you're going to again use your forearms and your toes. So feet are hip width apart. If it's not too bad, then you can actually lift the feet off the floor, but just have an explore. So right up near the hip, down near the kneecap. So everybody's different with where it's going to feel uncomfortable. So you could do this for up to a minute or even 2 minutes. I generally don't do 2 minutes, I probably do maybe 30 seconds, a minute. Right, and then we want to go to the other side. So we want to lift ourselves up and flip. Again, put that foot in front, use your shoulder blade muscles. Think of your alignment. So you want to have your ear, your shoulder, your hip, your ankle all lining up. And again, find those spots. Sometimes I will turn a little on the side so I'm getting more into where my ITB and my TFL attach onto the glutes. And sometimes you want to go down near the knee. All right, and that's plenty. All right, so let's put it off to one side. All right. Okay, and let's come into hands and knees. So hands under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, okay? And let's just find your neutral first of all, so a little bit of a pelvic tilt. We want to have fingers spread. You want to put a bit of pressure through your knuckles as well as the heel of your hand. And remember, if your wrists don't like this, you could even have a rolled up towel underneath your hand. So let's think about our collarbones, because we're just going to do some protraction, retraction here. So we want to think about collarbones lowering to the floor and then pushing back up. All right, so we're not poking the chin. We're just going to do 5. We're keeping the elbows straight, and the elbow creases should be facing each other. So sometimes we get a lot of people that are hypermobile, and in this position, they lock out their elbows rather than using their shoulder blade muscles. So let's do one more. Good. So let's do a bit of a cat-cow now. So we're going to tuck the tailbone, push into the floor with your hands and arch up. Chin comes towards the chest. And let's come back down. And you can just come to a neutral position, or you can go the other way and turn and bring the head out. And let's do it again. So let's do about 5 cat-cows. So really nice for your spinal mobility. Just go in the range that's comfortable for you. You're not pushing into that neck flex position if your neck doesn't like it. And you're not dropping into that arched position if your back's not happy. Just stopping neutral. Alright, so let's go back in a frog stretch just to take some weight out of the wrists for a moment. So feet together, knees apart, stretch the arms wide. Head can rest on your mat. Alright, and then come back up. So you want to again come back up with knees hip width apart. Spread your fingers, set your shoulder blades. Okay, and this time we're actually going to move the arms and legs. So lengthen the neck, tuck the chin. We're going to slide out your left leg. Big toe stays on the floor. Then we're going to lift out your right arm. Okay, and then we'll lift that foot off the floor if we can. That's it. We're going to hold it there for a moment and then pop the foot back on the floor, bring the arm back down. Slide the knee in. So we don't want to see a big rock and roll through the pelvis. All right. Then do the right leg stretching out. The knee stays straight. Lift the left arm out. Keep the length in the neck. Lift the toes off the floor. Hold it there for a moment. And then foot comes back. Bring the arm back down. Slide that knee back in. All right. Let's do one more each side. Maybe do it all in one smooth movement this time. Good, and when we stretch that leg out, we keep the knee straight, we keep length in the neck, and then we'll come back. Nice, smooth, controlled movement. Critical part is as you swap from one side to the other, don't lose your neutral lumbar spine. Good. All right, and then coming back. Nice and slow. All right, let's do a frog stretch, but we'll do a little bit of a shoulder bias. So we want to bring your right hand to the outside of your left. Tilt that right shoulder to the floor, bottom back to your heels. Let your head rest on your right upper arm. Good. Let's come back up. Let's do the left hand to the outside of the right. Tilt the left shoulder to the floor, bottom back to your heels. Good. All right, then come back up. All right, let's go on our tummies. So flat on the floor. All right, and we'll just have arms by your sides. Forehead on the pillow if you need it. And if your back doesn't like being flat on the floor, pillow underneath your hips. That's it. All right, let's go to the shoulder blades. So, totally relax. You're going to draw both those shoulder blades down and back, and then relax. So your shoulders will lift off the floor, but your hands shouldn't. So let's do 5. And when you've done the 5th one, let's do some single ones. So just want to do the right shoulder blade lifting down and across to your left bottom, and then relax. And then the left shoulder blade lifting down and across to the right bottom and relax. Let's do 2 more each side. Alright, so this time I'm going to add in the head. So we're going to draw those shoulder blades down the back, tighten the tummy, tuck the chin, lift the forehead off the floor about 5 centimeters or so, and then relax. Good. So we're going to do that 5 times. So tummy, shoulder blades, chin tucked, lift, relax. So you want to keep that head in line with the body. Don't poke your chin out. And totally relax in between. Now there should be no back pain, no neck pain, probably feeling that you are using muscles though. Alright, bring the arms out this time. So now we're going to have your elbows in line with your shoulders, your palms facing the floor. And you might just do this very gently and not lift too high. So we want to draw those shoulder blades down, back, tighten the tummy, tuck the chin, lift just a little, it's 5 centimeters or less, and then back down. Totally relax. And in fact, and I would put your arms back down by your sides. I would be back there. Yeah. Alright, so let's do another 3. So we want to do 5 in total. Totally relax in between. So tummy, shoulder blades, chin tucked, lifting, and try and lift everything all in the same time. So you don't want to lift the head and then lift the arms. There shouldn't be any lag. Alright. Good. When we've done that last one, we're just going to stretch the arms out into a Y position. So we want thumbs pointing up. We want to have the arms off if you think of YMCA. Now we're going to keep the head on the floor, and we're just going to suck the shoulders into the sockets and then lift them about 10 centimeters off the floor, and then relax everything. So suck the sockets into the shoulders into the sockets, lift the arms and relax. Alright, we're just going to do 5. So what you're actually doing is a nice rotator cuff shoulder blade exercise. Alright, and relax. Alright, 10 passive extensions. So if your back doesn't like extension, and you're going to roll over onto your back and just bring your knees to your chest, rock and roll, that's it. And remember, we want to keep your bottom relaxed when you're doing your passive extensions. Keep your hips glued to the floor. So your range may not look like my range. You're just doing what is comfortable for you. Alright, when you've done number 10, we're going to flip over onto your back. We're going to grab that heavy resistance band and stretch our legs. So pillow underneath your head if you need it. Otherwise, can go without a pillow. Alright, band around the ball of your right foot. And you want to stretch that up to the ceiling. So always try and have a bit of resistance on that band so that you can let the muscles in your leg relax. You want a slight bend in the knee. If you keep your knee straight, you're only going to get pulling behind the knee. So, which is where your hammy attaches. It attaches onto the bones down here. We want to get a strength in the length of the muscle. So if you have that little bend and bring your leg a little bit closer to your chest, it's all in here. Your elbows resting on the floor, neck and shoulders relaxed. And don't forget to breathe. Alright, let's add in just those gentle foot movements. Good. So remember, that's just sliding and gliding your sciatic nerve, which starts in your lumbar spine, comes down, pierces a muscle in your bottom called your piriformis, and then goes back down into the back of the thigh, and it splits into a couple of other different nerves in your lower leg down into your feet. Alright, let's put both ends of your band into your left hand. Lower your leg, straighten your knee, bring it down, bring it across. Now, often you need to do a little bit of a stretch of the hip or lengthen your torso to get that ITB stretch. And it might feel different because we did that lovely massage on the roller. Alright, let's bend your knee, draw your foot and your knee towards your shoulder. So remember, sometimes you need to play around with where the knee and the foot are to get the best stretch for you. Alright, and then we're going to straighten that leg. We're going to swap the band back over into your right hand, right elbow on the floor. Bring that leg out to the side. So you don't want to let your bottoms lift off the floor. Keep both butt cheeks on the floor. If your back's not happy here, you just bend up your left foot. Bend your left knee, put your left foot on the floor. Alright, let's bring that leg back, swap onto the other foot. So again, pulling on the ends of the band until your elbows rest on the floor. Slight bend in the knee. Hold that hammy stretch. Neck and shoulders are relaxed. Alright, again, we're just going to add in those gentle foot movements. And then swap the band over into the other hand, lower the leg down, straighten the knee, bring it across, elbow on the floor. Again, if you need to, sometimes you've got to stretch that hip away towards the foot that's on the floor, or lengthen the torso on that side so that you're getting that stretch on the outside of the hip. Alright, let's bend the knee, draw the foot in so it's a bottom stretch now. And then we're going to straighten that leg, swap the band over into the other hand, elbow resting on the floor, and the legs coming out to the side. Inner thigh stretch. Alright, and then let's bring that leg back. Take your band off. I'm just going to drop the band and finish with it. And let's roll over onto one side. So, windmill stretch. Knees up in front of your hips, arms stretched down in front. So, make sure those knees stay on top of each other. Again, pillow underneath your head if you need one. Sliding forward. Bringing the arm up and over. Again, one of those stretches that you could do every day because it feels so nice. Now pop or a click here, is perfectly okay. I generally get a click every time I do a windmill. I actually like to get the click. And this is your thoracic mobility that we're maintaining and improving. So important for your breathing, important for your neck, important for your shoulders, important for your lumbar spine. So the next one, we want to hold that outstretched position and breathe in, breathe out. And you're thinking shoulder blade getting a little bit closer to the floor, the upper shoulder blade. And then bring the arm back. All right, let's go over onto the other side. And again, check your knee position. You want your knees in front of your hips. Glue them together, sliding again up and over. And it's not unusual to have a difference on one side to the other. Remember, shoulder blade to the floor. And if your shoulder is uncomfortable for any reason, you can turn it into a bow and arrow. So bow and arrow is you just bend that elbow and the hand comes near the chest and you're just still getting that shoulder blade going to the floor. Right. With the next one, we want to hold that outstretched position, breathe in, breathe out. Again, go a little bit further. All right, then bring the arm back. All right, let's go over onto our backs and just, we'll do a spinal stretch. So we want to have both knees bent up first of all, arms out in line with your shoulders, palms facing up, and then let's straighten your left leg. You want to put your big toes of your right foot, just hook them behind the left knee, and then that right knee goes towards the floor on the left hand side. So again, you might get a pop or a click, and the arm that's outstretched, your right one, you might need to lift it a little if the pull at your pec is uncomfortable. Breathe in, breathe out, and just let yourself relax into it a little bit more. Alright, then bring yourself back, nice and slowly returning. Straighten your right leg, let's bend the left one. Just gently tuck those big toe just behind the knee, and again let your left knee go over to the floor on the right hand side. And again let the arm lift if it pulls too much. Okay, you can breathe in, breathe out, and relax into it. Good. Alright, let's come over, push yourself up. Alright, and we want to be on one knee. So we're going to do hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to go side on. So we want to have, try and get your foot past your knee. Alright, makes it easier to balance. But you've still got your foot in front of your hip. And we want to tighten the tummy, tuck the bottom. So you're getting that hip flexor stretch. Let's take your right hand, pop it out in front, and with your left hand just stretch the forearm flexors. So think about what's happening at your shoulder there. Draw your shoulder blade down and back. Alright, keep squeezing your bottom, keep that tilt on the pelvis. Alright, and relax, okay, and then we'll swap sides. So we want to do, I've got my left knee out in front, I'm going to tighten my tummy, tuck my bottom, and squeeze my butt cheek, and then my left hand, my left arm I've got out in front, and I'm going to use my right hand to pull my hand back. So I'm getting a left forearm flexor stretch, and then relax. All right, let's come up into standing. That's my screen. So we just need to do the wrist extensors now. So in standing, we want to keep your elbows straight. You can turn your palm up to face you, to look at you, but look straight ahead and don't lift your shoulder up. So keep your shoulder down and pull the back of the hand up. All right, and relax. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So draw the shoulder blades down and back. So you look at your hand, but then don't look at your hand. All right, and then pull up. But the elbow straight is the important part. All right. and relax. All right, let's stay here and do a quad stretch. So single leg balance, slight bend, just fix my screen, slight bend in the knee, weight into your heel, forearms, just let this arm relax, don't turn your neck on, and keep your hips level. So I'll often see people do a stretch like this, try and keep your hips level. All right, and relax. Let's do the other side. Good. Good. Don't forget to breathe here. That's the other thing. Yep, hang on to your ear. That's right. That kind of, maybe it's just giving you a little bit of balance on that side. All right, and relax. All right, let's grab a little ball and just do a couple of head movements to finish off with. So you want to put your ball on a wall at your forehead, okay? You're not going to cover your eyes. You're going to be standing really close to that wall. You want to draw your shoulder blades down the back, a little bend in your knees. Push on the ball with your forehead. You're going to take your chin towards your chest and then back. Let's do 5 nods. You're not in a hurry. And then just go across. So maintain that pressure. Roll the ball across to one side of the forehead as you rotate. Keep your chin level as you go across to the other side. So let's do a couple each side. And then relax. All right, we'll pop the ball down. All right, well done, ladies. So feet hip width apart, knees soft. Let's breathe in, stretch your arms up. And breathe out. Bring them down. Good. And again, breathing in. And breathe out. All right, some big shoulder rolls. And then back the other way. And we're finished. Well done.
Thank you.
Well,
Bye.
Thanks, Fiona.
bye, ladies.
Terrific. Thank you.
No worries. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Yes, you too. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye.